Grade 1 action, the Coral Gold Cup, and everything else in between. Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. We've got some cracking races to cover this weekend. Lots of ITV races and some good races on Friday and Saturday. We had some winners last weekend, the Betfair Chase weekend. I'm pretty sure I put up Epatante, who was second in the handicap, and a few more winners in there. So we're on some good form. So thank you very much for the feedback and support on that video. It's just hit 2,000 viewers as of today, as we record. So that is fantastic. And our review video is doing well. If you haven't looked at that, please do go and check it out. That was released on Monday morning. Reviewing the action over the weekend, I'm joined by the usual lot, Harry and Lee. Boys, it's a good weekend's action. We've got some nice horses out. Hopefully the field sizes hold up with the ground. Harry, the Coral Gold Cup is one of the highlights of the season. It's 15 years since Denman won the race, so won the race for the first time. So that's going to be a nice little achievement there.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, 15 years since the great horse put in one of the best performances you've seen for a while. And hopefully one of the field can do the same again. Obviously, I don't think we've got the likes of Denman in this year, but I think
not. You think not?
Well, you'd think not, but you never know. This Newbury's always prone to throwing up a few surprises. So fingers crossed we see another good performance.
And Lee, yourself, cracking day's action on the Saturday. The Fighting Fifth is there. We could be seeing Constitution Hill Epatante, fingers crossed, but it'll be a good race nevertheless. Not so sleepy returning from his dead heat last year, and you'll be there. That's right.
Yeah, I'll be in Newcastle. I think Michael Buckley's already been on saying that there's train disruptions, so he's not keen to travel all the way up here with rail strikes and stuff like that. But hopefully we'll see Constitution Hill and obviously Epatante's coming. I did see that Pied Piper might come. Gordon Elliott is debating, but it depends whether the two horses of Nicky's come. But yeah, interesting race it should be.
It's a race we'll be getting on to later today. Of course, boys, we'll start with the Friday. Some good racing at Newbury. The Grade 2 Coral Racing Club Novices Chase kicks things off. We've got a couple double entries in here, Harry, but the main horse to talk about that is jocked up is Stage Star, Harry Cobden on board. You've got lots of Wonderwall in there, Beauport, who's double entered as well, and Camprons. It's a nice race depending on which horses turn up. We've got no betting, but what would you be looking at this early stage?
Well, it is, and obviously Stage Star is, for me, the horse to beat. Second run after a wind-up, obviously, was really impressive at Warwick last time, beating West Cork, who has subsequently gone on to finish behind John Bon. Around the same distance, to be fair, as 13 lengths, and I think John Bon beat the horse by about 16 lengths. So how good Stage Star could be, I can't imagine this horse will be rated in the 140s for much longer. I think he is a solid 150 horse, maybe even pushing the top bracket this year. Who knows? But at this current stage, you've got the likes of City Chief, an unexposed type. You've also got Camprond, who tipped up at the first and caused absolute chaos that race at Exeter. So, as you mentioned, there are a few double entries. I think Beauport is also entered on Saturday. But for me, I think Stage Star, I can't wait to see this horse back out. Likely not to be any sort of price to go smashing into, but for me, I think I was really impressed. And Paul Nicholls remains flying, and you can see Stage Star going 2 out of 2 over fences.
No, 100%. Lee, it's difficult to have a betting opinion without any odds on the market, but just going through the Roll of Honour, Champ won this race in 2019. He lines up for the long distance hurdle later on. Clandezobo 2016, Bobsworth 2011, and we have a Paul Nicholls horse there, Stage Star, who could be something really, really nice, a Grade 1 winner over hurdles. What would you be assessing his chances for this race? Do you think he could be a really, really good horse going forward over fences?
I'm the same with Harry. I think it'll be a good horse. It's hard to assess. I think a lot of the horses maybe he's step up and trip for the Saturday race, the John Franklin race. Look, Beauport won well the last day. I think it was Miller's Bank. He just beat in the Colin Parker at Carlisle. Good race, good start to his career in chasing. And look, Stage Star won well enough last day. Jumped well, but it'll be an interesting race, I would have said.
I think one that could be, well, it won't be the favourite if Stage Star goes obviously here, but I think one that could be interesting is Wonderwall. Very interesting runner here. First time ever fences compared to a few others who've already had a spin over in a chase race. And he's a lightly raced hurdler. His bumper form is good. He won on debut to beat Nappa's Yes, he was third to Nappers Hill and stage start in a bumper at Ascot. Came on a winning run, which was just green as grass. That was after he won on debut, beat some nice horses there. Went to Newbury first time, hurdles, finished second to Pull Again Green on good to soft. Was travelling so well into the race, but just got the last all wrong. Gave 5 lengths to the winner, was powering home, only lost by 2. Then beat City Chief, who's entered in this race, and the John Frankham on Saturday in a maiden hurdle. And then fell in a listed novice race won by LA Bell at Huntington. Gentleman at Arms was in second that day. So the form has worked out really well. The Wonderwall could be interesting when the betting market opens up. Harry, the Grade 2 long distance hurdle later on in the card. And Champ is going for the race. It'd be nice to see him out first time this season. But Prashima tops the market at 2s. Champion there 5-2. Paisley Park at 4s. Dashel Drasher 9-2. Thomas Darby last year's winner 5s. And T Clipper completes the lineup at 20s. Do you have a betting opinion on this race currently at this early stage?
I think it's obviously Paisley Park came and tried different tactics last year, if I remember rightly, in the race. I think he tried to make all and it just didn't work. It didn't seem to work. And he is a 10-year-old now. He is getting on, but obviously he did show that there is still life in the old boy yet. I think he ran really well in the stayers behind Florian Porter last year, obviously coming off the back of his win in the Cleve. That is probably more than likely going to be his route again this year. I can't see him having the better of Champ. I think Champ will reverse the form with that horse. I think Nicky's are just starting to get into their form at the minute. Last year's winner, Thomas Darby, was really impressive. And Ollie Murphy's a nice little target trainer. And you can imagine that this horse will be primed. Second run after a wind up. Ran really well behind Prashima, I thought, on a seasonal outing. I think at the prices, actually, I think Thomas Darby at 5-1 is a big price compared to Prashima at 2s.
What do you make of Prashima? Obviously, this horse that's coming into the lineup who hasn't been at that Grade 1 level yet, but has bolstered up last time out.
I think I mean it's quite interesting because I was listening to the Final Furlong podcast just on the way home from uni today, and Emmett Kennedy was on about mentioning Dan Skelton is a really good target trainer, and I completely agree. And I just think this horse Prashima is always targeted for that Weatherby race. Obviously, he was second last year, won the race this year, and I just think that if anything, you'd be taking the second out of the race because I think he'll be much better off now on these terms than he would have been last time out. I just think at the prices, you've got a 5-1 or a 2-1 shot, and I'd be much rather taking last year's winner than a horse who's yet to prove it at the top level.
Lee, this race likes to attract horses coming back year after year. Big bucks, Cole Hardham, Thistlecrack, you know what I mean, Harry, and Paisley Park. We've got another, as mentioned there, from Harry. Thomas Darby won it last year. What would you assess his chances? What do you make of Prashima, this sort of unexposed type at this level coming into the race?
Well, I did read Ollie Murphy says that Thomas Darby would want a bit more cut in the ground. I think the Newbury clerk of the course said Newbury's like a thirsty hippo at the minute, so needs plenty of juice. That they're obviously watering. The ground's been a big issue. I don't know if the horse will definitely go. I do think he wants a bit cut. Prashima, the Skeltons are in top form. They had a good winner yesterday. Chasing, I think, was at Kempton. Look, they're in firing on all cylinders.
That's a Constance, lovely horse. Yeah, Constance.
That's one going forward. Definitely keep an eye on that one. But I think Prashima fairly bolted up the last day. Obviously, Thomas Darby was in behind. I think they'll struggle to reverse the form with this horse and the likes of Champ. And Paisley Park, the 10, 11, the older lads, they still got it in them, but I just think maybe they might need this run. And I think Prashima, coming off the back of that impressive win last time out, I think is maybe a standout in this race, to be honest.
I agree with you to extent there, but I don't agree with you on the Champ point. I think if you're going to be backing him or you're going to be looking to back him at any time this season, I think this weekend is the time to catch him. He's really good when fresh. Off a 70-day break throughout his whole career, he's 6 from 9. And the race he hasn't won, he finished second in. He won the Grade 1 long walk to beat Time Hill last year, won the RSA to beat Melarindo and Allaho. Those are all off massive breaks. And he beat Dashel Drasher at Newbury.
I just think
levels.
He's a bit of a stuffy horse, and you need to catch him right more than maybe he might need the run, but you need to just catch him right. And he's not one that I've ever caught right. I somehow had Alaho at a big price in the RSA and Manila Endo, and I end up losing
straight
out.
through.
Yeah, so not one I've quite forgiven yet, but yeah.
I happened to be on Champ that day, so that was a fantastic day for me. I think this is the day to catch Champ, and I think the market is a little bit wrong. I can't believe Champ is a bigger price than Prashima off what Prashima did. It was impressive, very good gallop through the line, but he starts to do at that level for me. And yeah, I'd be signing with Champ currently 5-2. We'll move on, Harry. The Saturday onto the Saturday card at Newbury. The listed mares Novices hurdle, the first race of the day. Got some nice horses out. There's no betting again for the race, but the likes of Rosie Redrum in there, Lucia for Nikki Henderson, who was going to run at Cheltenham, but the ground went against her. If there's no rain at Newbury, it could go against her again because she likes that little bit of cutting the ground. But what do you make of this listed sort of mares novice hurdle? Is there anything interesting lurking in the lineup?
Well, I mean, I think if you're judging off ratings, obviously the top horse in there, Carol's Pass, sets the standard of 126, which isn't a bad rating because, I mean, the horse did it really nicely at Newbury earlier this month, beating She's a Saint. It was a nice performance, I thought, and was just kind of getting going after the last, I thought, and they thought there was a lot of improvement there from her. Obviously, you've got Lucia in there. We're not too sure. Just a quick one on the ground. Obviously, I don't know whether if any of you boys watched the gallops. Obviously, Nikki sent her quite a few. Shishkin was there, but it was lashing it down in there, and the underfoot conditions, you could hear it. It definitely wasn't good ground. There was definitely a little bit of cut in there, so it'd be interesting to see.
That was like a week ago, like it is officially good ground. Like checking the website now, so there is a bit of rain forecast Wednesday and Thursday, but it would be interesting. At least it's not rock hard like a pavement,
Oh, well, absolutely. But you've seen with Ascot, I mean, how it absolutely lashed it down last week for a couple of days and then dried out, and it's just not getting into the ground. So it could be anything. You could see a number of withdrawals in there. Lucia obviously withdrew at Cheltenham, obviously going over hurdles now. I think this horse is going to be very, very smart, judging by her Sandown win. But then again, you might think she's won both times on soft. So whether this ground might be too quick again for her is another one. Not Now Linda impressed me at Warwick, the way she won. But then she disappointed at Cheltenham when she stepped up. So for me, if I'm taking one at the minute, I'd be willing to give Not Now Linda a chance because I think beating Queen's Rock in her point-to-point shows it is nice form. But it's one of those, we don't know who's going to be declared yet because we don't know what the ground's going to be. But no, obviously you've got Rosie Redrum in there, but Not Now Linda at this current stage for me.
Yeah, Rosie Redrum's the horse I want to talk about. It's a horse that even though she's only had one run over hurdles, I feel like I've backed her about 9 times in her bumper career. But like the issue for her really is like Milton thinks a lot of this horse. When Mullenbeg won, he couldn't stop talking about this horse they had at home that won at Wincanton the other day, and it was Rosie Redrum. Obviously went to Newbury, was beaten by Top Dog in a bumper. That's where Top Dog was over here, Rosie Redrum was over here, and it was like who's actually in front on the camera angle. Top Dog won. I was a bit sort of disappointed that day. It was a good run, but like the issue with her is she's really keen. Like she's a really keen going horse over this sort of minimum distance. They have to switch her off cold at the back. She rides pretty much in a different postcode every time she goes, and then she has to make up all that ground. Like at Aintree, she was given such a hard job to do. She just got boxed in and nothing happened there. Same went for sort of Newbury in a sense. She had to come from a way back to get going, and then she went to she went to Wincanton the other day, was it, on her debut, and she finished second there. So like it's difficult. She wants to race a honest gallop to be switched off out of the back and then sort of come off that sort of strong pace. I've had a little look through, like I think maybe She Is Electric is the only horse that's going to set a strong pace here. Like that horse set a strong pace at Cheltenham in the Supreme trial, but then just faded out. I can't see She's a Saint making the pace because she did it when she won and absolutely bolstered. Everyone thought, oh, is this the second coming? But in this sort of decent company, I don't think she will. So again, I think it's going to be a tough one for Rosie Redrum on the weekend because I don't see that pace coming from anywhere. The one I'd be interested is Letterson Lady. Good winner at Worcester last time out. Good turn of foot from the second last to the last and then onwards to the line and travelled really well into the race. Excuse me, I believe was second to Twin Jets in a bumper. Nice Milton Harris horse there. That bombed out at Cheltenham, but I don't think that was his true showing. Twin Jets is a really nice horse. It was a neck behind Queen's Rock on debut. That's a horse who's just bolstered up for Henderson the other day. The bumper, she won at Newton Abbott in September. Always busy, the second, has since come out and won a novice hurdle at Warwick. So the form is there. She likes good ground. I think Letterson Lady could be an interesting one for the team at who's she trained by Peter Bowen. So we'll see how she goes on the weekend. Lee, the Grade 2 John Frankham Novices Chase race after the listed mares novice hurdle there. I was going to say bumper, but the amount of bumper horse we're talking about is a hurdle. Beauport again double entered. Time Hill in there for Philip Hobbs is dropped up. Tom O'Brien's going, so fingers crossed that horse can go. Mortlack, McFabulous has entered. Angelino Bello. It's a nice race depending on which horses turn up. What would you assess the race at this early stage?
Nicky Henderson's City Chief. I definitely think that horse will come here over the Friday race. I think it should have won it punches down the last day. I think it's made for chasing. So hopefully that one does come here. Probably be the one I'd be interested in. I think Gelino Bello, there's a couple of Paul Nichols in there. I think Gelino Bello will be the one for this race as well. Obviously scrambled home the last day. We'll have to definitely step up again. And Time Hill won well at Exeter. Bolted up in the end, but it was a 3-winner race. I can't remember the horse that skated off out in front, but that one ended up being pulled up. Look, I have had a little small play on Time Hill to win the 3 miler at Cheltenham. I thought it jumped well on the whole. There was a sloppy jump down the far side at Exeter, but come home well. I think this track we know suits the horse, and look, I think this is one of the most interesting races on the weekend, to be honest.
Harry, the Roll of Honour is very good for this race. Won by Ahoy Senor last year. Next Destination in 2020. Santini 2018. Thistlecrack 2016. Native River 2015. And we've got some nice horses. Gelino Bello, Time Hill. What would you be assessing this early time? We've got no market, unfortunately, but there are some decent horses in this race.
Well, you mentioned those horses that on the Roll of Honour. I mean, all of those are guaranteed stayers. Obviously, Thistlecrack, proper stayer. Native River would run through a brick wall for you. And then you've got like the likes of McFabulous in here. Just for me, McFabulous did it so nicely last time, but I just don't think he has the minerals at 3 miles. I just don't think he does. Whereas you got the likes of Time Hill, who's a proper stayer.
I've never heard got the minerals. I've never heard got the minerals.
You've heard it here now. So it's just Time Hill for me, as Lee mentioned, made a little mistake, but then was really good on the whole, I thought, Exeter, and beat no mugging behind. Flash Calandra is a decent yardstick. Beauport, the form of that Carlisle race, I just can't be having. Bear Gills was smashed at Utoxeter the other day, and Corrit Rambler was in that behind that day, and I think he's favourite for the Corrigal Cup, I believe.
Your knowledge is correct.
Yeah, so knowledge is up there, boys. It's going on. It's going all right.
We finally found it.
It's taken a few years, but we're getting there. I did agree with Lee. City Chief, I think, is made to be a chaser. And listen,
it should have won the last day, didn't it?
Yeah, it should. It was smashed in, I believe, and
7-2 or something in a big hurdle.
People really fancying that horse to win, and obviously it wasn't beaten far. I mean, only 5 lengths in the end. Gelino Bello has to brush up his jumping. Simple as, I think, to stand a chance against proven out and out stays, he can't make mistakes as he did, and he took an age to get going. I thought, Ash, I don't know whether you can agree with that, but for me, Time Hill, I completely agree with Lee. I think if he puts another good performance in, he puts his hat firmly in the 3 miler at Cheltenham.
Yeah, no, Gelino Bello's an interesting one. Like the form of the race would be questionable, the way he ran there. So you'd be interested. But like the actual jumping side of it, Gelino Bello, I wasn't like too negative on. Like I didn't think he was that bad in his jumping. It would be just the finishing effort to only beat a horse he's rated horse that's rated 1-2-1 in Lufderg Rocco. Just looking at my screen there, I want to get the pronunciation correct. But like the form there'd be interesting. But I don't have any issues with the jumping. I don't know about you, Harry, but I think this horse could be nice going throughout the season, Gelino Bello.
Yeah, you can say that, but I just think against these proven top-graded horses like Time Hill, I just think you can't be beating a 120 rated horse by, was it half a length? And
Yeah.
it just
slightly
just
right as well, though, didn't he?
yeah, well, I kind of agree with Ash that the jumping wasn't exactly a problem. It was just the fact that you'd be expecting a 148 horse to be getting past a 120 horse with ease and winning quite nicely in the end. And it took Harry Cobden quite a while to get. Now, it was his first run back since April. You can make excuses, but I mean, Time Hill, he was mightily impressive, I thought. But it was interesting because Time Hill kind of didn't going on towards the finishing line. He wasn't like staying on, I thought, even though he was eased down, but he just looked a little bit shaky for me. But it's a tricky one, Ash. I
It's a
can't
good
get
race.
my head
It's a
around
good
it.
race.
It
It's a
is,
good
it
race.
is, it is. But Beauport is no go. Beauport is a no go.
I'll come to you then, Lee, for the first race. We'll probably have a strong betting opinion in. It is the Coral Gold Cup 305 Newbury on Saturday. As Harry was right, Korak Rambler tops the market 6-1 remastered, coming off a win over Hurdles in there at 6 as well. Lamilos for Dan Skelton won the other day at Bangor, I want to say at 8. Fred through 5, Paul Nicholas' charge for the race. What would you be looking at this early stage at the prices for the Coral Gold Cup?
At this stage, look, it's tricky to assess. There's a lot of big prices in there. You could get a good, tasty price, I would reckon. If you do fancy one, maybe these are the type of races to get stuck into. I have had a little play on Remastered. £4 lower than last season. Was running a good race when come down. It's had its prep run, bolted up at Aintree, but that was off a lower hurdle mark, so took advantage of that. And David Pipeyard's in cracking form. Look, it's not a massive price. I think about 8 or so, but I just thought it was kind of an obvious one after last season where it travelled well in the race and off a £4 lower mark. Remastered. Look, you can get some big prices. I know Harry fancies one that I do fancy. I think about 25 shot, but I'll leave that to him. But yeah, Remastered maybe he's at an early stage.
Potentially Remastered there at 8-1 for Lee. I'll give a couple of stats. There's only been one horse in the last 40 years to win it as a 10-year-old. That was Sizing Tennessee. That cuts off the likes of Chantry House, Lost in Translation, Chambord for Felicia Williams, won the Kim Muir. Notoriously difficult to win first time out. I think Denman did, but like he was a freak. So, we've got no Denman in here, as we said. There's a few horses who haven't won this, are coming into this first time out as well. In the last 10 years, Bobsworth and Cloudy Glen were the only ones to do it first time out. If you're doing that, Lost in Translation, Chambord and Sam Brown get ruled out on that stat. Last 9-year-old to win it was Denman. Before that was Teton Mill in 1998. That rules out, unfortunately, for Lee Remastered, Potterman, Diablo de Rouet there. No 5-year-olds have won the race. Bustleton, Red Happy. So there's a few stats in here, Harry, that go against a couple of horses. But what would you be liking at the prices currently?
See, I mean, as much I do really like Korak Rambler because obviously he won really nicely at Cheltenham at the festival, and listen, he seemed to just get better as he was going, and he won with any amount in hand. Obviously, he was rated 140 that day. Yes, he underperformed at Carlisle on reappearance outing, but that's fine. That's forgivable. Forgive a horse a run. And you're thinking £7 for the way he won at the festival is very lenient, I thought, because he won with any amount in hand. He's only carrying 11 stone 1 as we speak. He is an 8-year-old. So I think there's plenty more in the tank. I think 6-1 is short, especially in a race like this with so many horses that could prove you wrong. But I think he is. If you said the most likely winner right now, I'd say Korak Rambler. Would I be having a bet on him at 6-1? No, I wouldn't. Because
I think Lucinda's have needed a run this season as well. There's been a few that's disappointed first time out. So
he has had a run, to be fair to him. He has been at Carlisle in October, so he should be all right for this race.
Yeah,
I get what you mean.
Come on for the run. So I think, just obviously her horses sometimes need that run. So maybe he's come on and improve a lot.
Oh no, and I don't think. Sorry, Ash. I don't think he'd need to improve massively to. £7 rise is lenient.
Yeah, it
I just
is.
think he's short enough for me. But I think if you like you're saying, the most likely winner at this stage for me would be Korak Rambler. But I have 2 at a nice price. I don't know whether Ash you want to go first, mate. But
go on, you're in a rhythm. I'm only a gentleman.
All right, good man. No, another one who has an outstanding record fresh is Chantry House. It's a horse I absolutely love.
No.
Yeah, it is brave. It is brave putting this horse up. But he's unbeaten after having a break. He's unbeaten. Simple as. And you can't knock a horse when they're fresh. You've got, listen, I just think that 3 miles and this extra distance is perfect. It's tailor made. He was pulled up in the Gold Cup. He just didn't
He's
seem to get going.
winner of the Hennessy then.
Yeah, okay, all right, but I understand.
That horses that pull up in the Gold Cup.
But on his day, okay, but on his day, he would smash all of these. Simple as he would smash them.
Off that weight.
I don't care off the weight.
Ash,
He's
if this was
top horse.
If this was the live, I'd put my hand up, right, because I think it may go to the rehearsal chase now in Newcastle.
What, Chantry House?
It's entered in the rehearsal chase. If I did see right,
that would be an insult going from
the
Hennessy. Well, not the Hennessy because I'd probably get slated for that.
It would be
Gold Cup.
But it's, the only thing I kind of link it is if JP goes to see Epatante in the fighting fifth, his other runner maybe goes there as well.
No, you're talking drivel.
Look, JP will come to Newcastle, I tell you.
He might do, but he'll see Epatante win, but he won't see Chantry House win at Newcastle because I think he's got a massive chance in the Coral Gold Cup. Another horse is Venetia's. Now, Venetia Wonderland has well and truly opened at Ascot at the weekend. Now, I'm hoping Venetia starts to kick on because she had that purple patch last year where she just couldn't field a runner that didn't win. It was incredible. And I think this horse, now this is off 12 stone. Fanny Destraval is off 12 stone, but like Chantry House.
Have you managed to pick another horse that's entered at Newcastle again?
Yeah, I have.
That's entered for the rehearsal chase.
You watch both of these will go up north. I know it'll be the Leakers. They'll all go to Newcastle. Don't go. But no, Fanny Destraval. If you catch this horse right, obviously had a really impressive at Newbury last time the horse was here, beating Colorado Dark. Obviously, not really, but gave a lot of weight away that day. He was carrying 11-12. Can he carry 12 stone in the Coral Gold Cup and win? Maybe not. Can he run a nice race? I think he can. At 25-1 is massive because this horse on his day will clock a nice RPR of probably in the 160s, and that could be good enough for a place. So I would not advise. I would advise people if they wanted to. Massive prize, have a little.
He's maybe one of Venetia's that doesn't need the mud flying all the time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a freak horse for Venetia, really. But no, I think people put like a misdemeanor on Venetia's yard of just needing loads of mud. She had a quiet time over the summer, but that's just normal. And now most of her horses do need a little bit of cut. But this
can I just give a little plug? So I just read Lydia Hislop's column in the Sport and Life. It's a really good read. It's a must read, I would have said. And Venetia Williams had mentioned about Lohan Press at the weekend, and she says her horses they want the softer conditions. They wouldn't run them on good and good to soft. Good ground mainly, just because of the conditions, and she likes to maybe keep the horses from being injury prone. So that's why she likes them to run on them softer conditions. So it's not necessarily they need them. It's just she feels that that's best for the horse.
Long Press is also entered for that rehearsal chase as well. So interesting. I'll give you 2 horses that aren't entered elsewhere, and one of them is actually jocked up. So you should be hoping he goes for this race. Oscar Elite. Form that Harry, you were so close. You were so close on the card.
I thought you were going to say. I genuinely thought you were going to say the other 2's hard run, and then I was going to laugh.
Harry, you were correct on the form line, the ultimate, but you just got the wrong horse, unfortunately. Jericho Rock was in second that day, but he'd be interesting. But Oscar Elite for me, third in the Ulster off 138, was decent form. The 2 ahead of him do reappear here today. Obviously, Carl Rambler's got that £7 extra. I'm convinced he would have beat 300 through 5 and does, at Cheltenham in that novice chase November meeting last year when he was coming down the hill. Like if I think maybe Brendan Powell's on that day, if he just asked him to ping it rather than asking for a big jump on this novice, maybe he gets over. But he was coming with a strong run. Those horses are rated 151 and 156 respectively. He was getting £8 in weight that day, so that could sort of explain the good run. But also, even on that form, if you do the maths, he's well handicapped for a mark of 139 on Saturday. He's a really nice progressive type. He wouldn't mind if the ground comes up on the faster side of good to soft. He wouldn't mind that at all. That Cheltenham run was on good ground. It's the second run after a wind up, and he had a pipe opener over hurdle. So it looks like the Hennessy or the Coral Gold
I like that.
is going to be his race to go for. The other one I'll give, not jocked up, but he's not entered anywhere else, is Ansam for Evan Williams. Wayne Clifford is the owner. Oh, that laugh is harsh. That
No,
is harsh.
I actually looked at the horse and I nearly put it up and I debated it, but then
come on. I like it.
go for
I like the look there, Lee, because he always comes on for his runs. He never runs a good race off a big break, and he sweated quite a lot last time out when he ran at Ascot. Don't quote me on that. But he ran last time out. He was sweating, went from the front, didn't finish anywhere. Forgive that. I think he got dropped a couple of pounds for that as well. He's only £3 higher than when he bolted up in the Silver Cup at Ascot on Good to Soft last year. Performed to an RPR of 145, beat 2 JP horses in second, and he strung the field out. Like, there was good horses getting pulled up in behind. He's won on Good to Firm the main hurdle. He's got fair form in hurdles on good grounds. His best ground would probably be Good to Soft, but fingers crossed it gets that way. But if it is on the faster side, he shouldn't be too bad at that, and he should be primed for the run. So I've given you 2 horses there who should be going to the race, and hopefully we found some winners at the early stage. Lee, I'll come over to you. One of the races that you like the most in the season is the Fighting Fifth. Just realised my little banner for the Coral Gold Cup wasn't even on the screen there. That's how unprofessional I was, but I have got it there for the Grade 1 Fighting Fifth. The big talking point is Constitution Hill going to go for this race? Epatante is there. If not, I know you're a big fan of Epatante for the race, so just talk us through what you make of the Fighting Fifth this year.
Look, if Constitution Hill does come, it'll be an absolute cracking race. I do believe that Gordon Elliott will send paid paper if Constitution Hill doesn't come. I listened to Nick Luck's podcast, and Gordon says he won't run paid paper if both Nicky Henderson's horses will come here. So look, it'll be an interesting race. If Constitution Hill doesn't come, I'll take Epatante all day. I think she'll go Christmas hurdle and then kick on hopefully to the mare's hurdle at Cheltenham. She's going for 3 wins in the race. I say that she was dead heated last season. Obviously, we always have a bit of a laugh because I know you liked Sleepy for that race. Look, she dead heated last season. She bolted up the season before. Take on Hill out the race. She's definitely my winner. But if Constitution Hill comes here, I'd take him all day. He'd be short, but look, how can you not take him after his impressive Supreme run? He's favourite for the Champion Hurdle. It'll be a cracking race. Hopefully, Gordon does send paid paper because that'll add a bit more class onto it. But look, I absolutely love the race. I can't wait for the weekend. It's a good card at Newcastle, great at Newbury, and I think it's one of the better weekends as we kick on into Christmas.
Harry, I see no reason why Not So Sleepy is 8-1 here. Like, I can't believe he's that price.
It should be 80-1.
Oh, steady. But at these ante-post prices, where you would get the each way if 5 stand the field, you would get this price because
each way 10 places, yeah.
Because at the moment, Coral and Ladbrokes are being conservative on this horse at 8, but the rest of the bookies are 4s and 9s too because Constitution Hill is there. Like, I see no reason why not to have an each way bet on Not So Sleepy here at 8s for a horse who dead heated and has had a little pipe opener on the flat. But what do you make of Epatante's chances in the Fighting Fifth and just the race as a whole? Unmute it. It's a weekly thing now that he's muted himself. It's a weekly thing, and we're going to start.
I'm being respectful. I'm being respectful.
We're gonna start fighting you.
Okay, yeah, it's my bad. But no, listen. If Epatante or Constitution Hill don't go, that means Pied Piper is more likely to go. There's your 1-2. There's no point arguing about Not So Sleepy because Not So Sleepy is not going to beat Epatante.
You think Pied Piper's going to beat Not So Sleepy?
100%.
100%. Every day of the week, and he'll do it blindfolded as well.
Well, we might have a little match bet then, gentlemen.
Yeah, but listen, Not So Sleepy is, I know you love the horse, and I know it's going to take an absolute year, 2 years, 3 years to get off that high horse, but he's not good enough. He's just not good enough. But listen, I hope Constitution Hill goes. There's no reason, if he's race fit we mentioned in the review on Sunday, Nicky Henderson would have trained this horse to be ready. Now, if he's ready, send him. Send him to this.
Push it back a week and go, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to do any harm. I know obviously you mentioned about an Irish race at Christmas time.
Yeah.
What's the point in waiting that long? Just get him out. Get him out. Show him that he's fighting and he is champion hurdle worthy. Listen, he is already in my eyes because he broke the track record in the Supreme. But listen, I think if Constitution Hill does not go, this is Epatante's to lose because, as Lee mentioned, JP will probably be there and she's going fourth. She is going for 3. It is her race.
JP.
Yeah, but listen, you can get 5-4 now, and that's you gambling that Constitution Hill doesn't go because if he goes, I don't think the pair will go. No, I'm hoping they do because that would be one hell of a tussle because I think Constitution Hill would demolish Epatante, not going to lie.
I think Con Hills may go international, but then they were talking about the Christmas race in Ireland. It only leaves 2 weeks between the race. So that's if the Irish race was later, I think they would definitely go international. But that's what they've been debating about.
I don't see why they don't go here. Like the Kevin Blake made this. Harry's made a point here as well. Like they've trained the horse for the week. Henderson was saying how he doesn't go for this race. It disrupts plans for the rest of the season. Just push it back a week. Like just push it. It's a race that yes, Epatante they've lined up for probably 9 years for Epatante to win this race again. But like it's Constitution Hill who's obviously going to be their champion hurdle horse, and they're saying they don't want to disrupt the season. So why not go here on ground which is currently soft? There is a bit of rain in the forecast, but it's not too much currently.
Look, it's never stopped. It's never stopped raining. Like to be fair, look, and we're kind of like a haydock, whereas our soft is softer than like in other tracks. To be honest, look, it's good watering during the week. I think the clerk of the course says that they're going to water just to keep on top of it. But look, we've had plenty of rain and. Like I had mentioned the other day, I commented on Matt Chapman's stuff about when Nicky Henderson was saying about the conditions. I think they'd be ideal at Newcastle, to be honest. I don't.
Absolutely. I mean, the horse is. Yeah, if the ground's too quick at Ascot, obviously Paul Nicholls made a case that it wasn't that bad ground.
I know.
Okay, but that's a story for another time. But this is going to be perfect. It's not going to be quick at all. It won't be quick ground. Constitution Hill should demolish this lot. Should demolish him. It'd be a perfect run. Perfect. I mean, it's a nice course. Left-handed.
Nice. It's the best.
There we go. We've set him off on one. But no.
It's not like Wolverhampton. Nothing on Wolverhampton.
Yeah, but Nicky Henderson, right? This fight in 5th is a perfect stepping stone for the champion hurdle. So I just can't see any reason why this horse would not go.
I think this is the first Grade 1 hurdle of the season. I think
it is obviously not the first Grade 1 because obviously the Betfair Chase was the first Grade 1.
First Grade 1 hurdle.
Yeah. So I think, but then like you surely go kind of that triple crown of the hurdling. Christmas hurdle, champion hurdle. It's been played down the years. There's been plenty of champion hurdle winners come to 5th. Binocular, stuff like that, and obviously May 10th used to come here. Nicky's won it plenty of times. I feel like, and I did comment on a few stuff. I feel like Epatante was catered to in the program slightly. If Epatante wasn't there, Constitution Hill would definitely run.
Just do a boomer there. Just do the Newcastle, onwards to the Christmas hurdle, onwards to.
Just send them both.
Hurdle.
Send them both.
Send them both.
Yeah.
I don't think. Also, if both go, I don't think Constitution Hill would batter Epatante. By the way, I think it would be a real proper race. It would be
no.
I think it'll be a real proper race. Epatante comes here year on year. This is her race, and she's that mature. She's been in open company before. She's done the champion hurdle before. Like it's no walkover. Like Constitution Hill is very good. Potentially could be the best horse that we're going to see for a while.
Here's a question for you then. So Epatante and Honeysuckle, how many times have they met and how many times has Honeysuckle won? If Constitution Hill struggles to get past Epatante, how can you then say he's better than Honeysuckle?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying first race into open company for Constitution Hill, travelling up to Newcastle, where Epatante does really well in this race, and Epatante has already had those years under her belt of open company Grade 1 races. This is his first open company race. He's going to be going up into Grade 1 company. We've seen it time and time again. Horses going from novice to open. They just struggle to get into gear. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it's not as it's not as surefire as Constitution Hedge goes up there and wins. I think
But I just think
more interesting
that you're going to need to see the horse put in a proper performance, because Honeysuckle has beaten Epatante fair and square by a distance a few times now. So if Constitution Hill can't step up into this open company, and bear in mind he's like 5-4 for the champion hurdle now. So how can you then justify that price if Constitution Hill struggles to get past Epatante? I think then you'd be looking at the value with Honeysuckle.
Look, we'll see. I think it'll be a good race if both turn up, and I think we all agree that we see no reason why not to take Constitution Hill here, and Not So Sleepy finishes second. Other bets, gentlemen. I'm going to put this section up just in case you have any tracker horses or other bets for the weekend. Lee, you're nodding your head. Do you have anything?
My horse to follow, what we've done at the start of the season, American Make. He's due to run on Sunday, and it's over 2 mile 4. So people can't be going, oh, he's an Albert Bartlett horse. Shut up, man. He's got 2 mile 4 this time. Look, there's maybe one of, I think it's Dawn Rising, is it called? Used to be with Aidan O'Brien, now with Joseph. Won well the last day, bombed out behind Champ Keeley of Willie Mullins the first day, but won well the last day. That's probably the only danger to American Mike. So should win on Sunday. And I know Phil Dorr goes chasing who you like, Ash.
Yes. Phil Dorr over a fence finally. Harry, there's this underrated horse that's been entered for the weekend. It's called Facile.
I was going to mention it. Yeah.
Have you heard of this horse? It just says a bit more about this sort of under the radar progressive type.
Oh, listen, he looks a nice type going. And listen, he showed
I reckon he can win at the Cheltenham Festival, you know.
Oh, won quite a bit of promise at the Cheltenham Festival. Shaped really nicely, I thought, and looked definitely one to be taken over hurdles. No, I've got a tattoo of him, so I look at the horse every day. Every time I get in the shower, I just turn around and I see him.
He stares at for 20 minutes. He doesn't move his position. Stares at that tattoo.
I'd love to see him take to hurdles, but it's a big ask. How many times have we seen horses with promise jump like a tree? Kilcrut did it first time over hurdles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've seen it before, and I hope for my tattoo's sake that this horse can jump. Just take it after your mother.
You want to get money? You want to get your money's worth for a few years. That tattoo.
I mean, so I've got to go back to Greece. So I've got to go back to Zante, and I've got to go back to the Strip to get it back. So I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon.
Oh dear. Any more, Harry, or shall I mention a couple?
No, far away, mate.
I'll go back over to Newbury on Saturday, the 2:30, the Coral Bet Bundles Intermediate Handicap Hurdle. One of the races that's actually priced up, and unfortunately, I did back Teddy Blue at 10s earlier, thinking, God, that's a massive price. It's now 13-2.
Yeah, after boom. This is an after boom.
Let's get the hammer out on Twitter. Let's get the hammer out. Just won really nicely at Fonwell last time out, bolted up by 20 lengths in a maiden, hasn't been touched off that mark at 129. If you go back, the form in Night Salute isn't, this top horse, but in this level, to be finishing 3 lengths off Night Salute when he clattered the last and then stayed on. Yeah, that's nice form for me. So on the mark of 129, Teddy Blue. And I'll give one that's also in the race. Where is it now? Because I'm going off here. Picard, Harry and Dan Skelton is chopped up now, so he will be going to the race. This horse beat Hullenbach last time out, a nice horse for Fergal O'Brien. Was one of the sort of staying on horses behind John Bond's novice hurdle win at Haydock in January. He was staying on into 5th there, 9 lengths behind, and he was second to Nappers Hill in novice hurdle. So I think Picard could be very interesting. Nice horse there, Harry and Dan Skelton. We'll see. Lads, I've just lost my page, but we'll come back onto this.
We have a competition, so I'll announce it now, but we'll put it on Twitter. But it's going to be a Constitution Hill umbrella from Racing Tees, who kind of give with these.
See where Ashes? Where's Ashes? Where's Ashes t-shirt?
Oh, yeah. But from at Racing Tees, it's going to be a Constitution Hill umbrella. It looks really well. We'll get that picture up and we'll get the competition running for Saturdays live, 10:30 a.m.
Yes, we'll sort that competition out. So if you do check out our Twitter, Only Fools Love Horses, the details will be up there soon. But thank you very much for watching this video. And again, Thank you for support in recent weeks on our return to YouTube. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe and tell us what you thought of our selections down below. Hopefully, very nice comments. We'll be back with our Saturday Live 10:30 a.m. on Twitter. We're then back with a review video Sunday night or Monday morning, and then back again same time next week, Tuesday evening, to preview the racing ahead. Fingers crossed you like the video. Thank you very much. And if you're having a bet, do gamble responsibly. And we'll see you on Saturday, 10:30 a.m.
Thank you.
And the